I have a mild allergy to cherries. It's not too bad, but I do. And yesterday, I made myself happily miserable. So sick. I do this once or twice a year in celebration of Pie Day / my birthday. My wife made an amazing, delicious cherry pie, and I ate about a quarter of it. Oh, it was good. Homemade, delicious cherry pie. And within a few minutes, I began to question just, you know, everything as the cramps hit and the itchiness started and my eyes began to get puffy. And my wife was sitting over there going, "You know this makes me feel bad, right?" I'm like, "Don't worry. It was worth it." Seems kind of foolish. But I like cherries. I don't do this to myself very often, but I enjoy it, even as miserable as it makes me. Not quite enough to do it regularly, but from time to time. I embrace the pain because there's something else. And it does seem kind of silly. And people go, "Why would you do that to yourself?" For the pleasure of the pie. I enjoy it. Yes, it makes me miserable, but I also love the way it tastes. It's one of my favorite foods. It just happens to be that it's not my body's favorite. And I share that little bit of foolishness because we have a tendency to look at ourselves like that pie. It's just not quite worth it. We're not worth that much. See, Jesus came, and it says, for the joy, he embraced the cross. It's way more than a mild allergy there. He suffered one of the most horrendous, painful, slow ways to die. They didn't break his legs because he died early. He got some grace from the Father on that one. The reason they went to break his legs is because crucifixion sometimes took days. And on the Sabbath, they would take the cross down and lay it down, which would actually prolong everything because it kept you from dying as fast. But to make sure you didn't get your feet free and drag yourself off with your cross, they would break your legs. They'd break your legs because then the weight would bring you down even if they didn't lower the cross. That would cause you to die faster. They didn't have to do that with Jesus. But my point is, the crucifixion was a horrible, horrible, miserable, painful way to go. It was not a quick, peaceful execution. Jesus chose that. He did it on purpose. He could have stopped it. He could have walked away from it. He chose to partake of the death and the pain. And he did it for you and for me because he thought we were worth it. He believes to the core of his being that relationship with you is worth that price. And I look at myself and I go, there's nothing about me that's worth that. Just like people who think I'm crazy and go, you know what, there's no cherry pie on the face of the earth worth stomach cramps, puffy eyes, and itchiness to eat. We look at ourselves and say, we're not that valuable. God says you are. You are that valuable. As you are, not as you should be. Right now, in your worst of worst, in the best of your best that still doesn't measure up, at every moment, at every time, God loves the taste of relationship with you so much that he partook of the worst possible pain. And that wasn't even the cross. It was the one moment in all of existence where the Son was separated from the Father. The true definition of hell is eternal separation from the Father. That's what hell is. No part in God's glory, God's beauty, relationship with Him. And Jesus suffered a taste of that when He didn't have to, for no reason. Then He said, you and I are worth it. So if you're beating yourself up, feeling like you're not worth it, we're God's cherry pie. He says we are.